the River Avon, over 75 miles long, winding its way from the Cotswolds down to the Severn Estuary and absolutely packed with fish. I've fished this river on and off for years, and more recently I've targeted the chub in freezing minus conditions. Now, I did actually catch on my last outing, but if I'm honest, that felt more luck than skill. So today, instead of just turning up and winging it, I'm going to try and learn how to do it properly. Yeah, fish on. And the best way to do that? Head to my local tackle shop, which is situated right on the river itself. Before I head into the tackle shop to get my bits and pieces for today, I just wanted to say something that happened on the way here, which is another milestone, I suppose, in my nothing but fishing life, because just on the weekend I did a talk on the main stage at the big one, something completely new to me, out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it. A couple of days later, I've just had a notification pop up on my phone from the guys at Catch, who I do work with on a regular basis. I go to lots of Catch venues, they're a supporter of the channel. But this one said, new booking. I was like, what's it on about? I haven't booked anything yet. Then I remembered all my tuition bookings are on the Catch. So I've just had my very first tuition booking, which is a bit of a milestone in itself as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's in less than 2 weeks, so a quick turnaround, but I've just got off the phone with a chap that's booked on with me, gone through what he wants to learn from this session, and that's what I'll do with anyone that ever books on. It will cater the session to your needs, what you want to try and get from the session, and we'll go from there. So yeah, exciting times, good start to the day. Things are on the up with Nothing But Fishing, really enjoying it, and as always, a big thanks to every single one of you that watch, follow, hopefully are subscribed, that support me and what I do. And this is just another chapter in the Nothing But Fishing book. Is it book? Career? I don't know, I was trying to be all poetic then, but anyway, let's go get some stuff from the tackle shop, but a really exciting start to the day. Right then, which one of you helped me out?
With what?
With making sure I can actually catch some fish today, because I know I need main line. The stuff I had on last time was too light, probably more bait. My float was too light, I think my line was too heavy. I understand you're the man to ask. So if someone's coming in today with the river how it is today, which has just come down from flood, basically what do I need to start to finish? I've got the rod, I've got the reel, I just need everything else.
If you want to float, obviously the braid's no good at all. You're going to need to change that completely to float in line. So if you come around here, do you know what size floats you were using last time?
I can show
you. Were they quite light floats?
I can show you. Because last time the river was a lot more manageable. I was using either one of these or one of these. I think it was one of these. It was quite big, because I never used.
What I do, the way the river is at the moment, I'd go more for a bolognese style float. It's got a thicker tip on it.
Bolognese?
Bolognese, yeah, it's an Italian name for it. The Italians pioneered it with big long rods, like 6-7 meter rods. So I would go for something along that sort of line. It's got a thicker tip on it, so obviously if you want to use bigger baits as well, and it's easier to control. So go for a 6 gram one.
Yep.
The line runs through the body, so it's nice and central as well.
Some bands, is that one?
You need to get some silicone to go on there as well. So you have a piece of silicone on the top, one just underneath the float there, one mid, and one which is just overhanging.
Yeah. You
have it overhanging because it helps aid casting of the float. So I'd go for a 6 gram one. Nice thick tip on there as well, so it's easy to control. Now the options you've got, you can go for obviously straight through drilled weights like these ones here, or you can go for an Olivet setup. So you put like a 4.5 or a 5 gram Olivet on and a couple of shot underneath to lock it in place, one above it, and then one drop shot. Or you can use these ones here, which is Adrenaline Waggler weights. So in a pack there's 4 weights, 2 gram. So I'd put a couple of those on and then a couple of shot either side, or you can use float rubbers to lock them in place, and then you can set your float up that way. The choice is entirely yours. Definitely need to get you some line lay for your reel. Yeah. So you want to go for a float fish?
I think I had 8 pound mono one last time, and it was like carp mono. Yeah. So it's sinking. It was a nightmare.
With a float fishing line, obviously you've got like Preston float max, you've got Drennan float fish and things like that. They're designed for fishing the float, so the line floats on the surface, so you can control the float. I would go for an 018 4-pound Preston reflow. It's a nice, soft, supple line. It floats superbly, so you can control your float. Because that's the biggest thing, you've got to be able to mend the line behind the float.
It was a nightmare last time. Every time I was trying to pull it back, I was just dragging it towards me and not mending it.
Yeah. The thing is, if you had a sinking line as well, obviously a sink under the surface, you can't control it very well because you're then pulling against the tension of the water. Whereas a float fishing line, it's on the top, floating nice and lovely, control it better. You can see your line floating down up to your float, so it's a lot more easier to use. So definitely one of those. And then hooks is entirely up to you. You can either tie your own or get pre-tied. Now, the pre-tied hooks nowadays are absolutely fantastic. Gone are the days from years ago we used to get them out of a packet and 90% of them would be crinked and kinked up and that wouldn't be tied properly. So it all depends on what sort of fish you're going for. I understand you're going to go for chub today, aren't you?
But to be honest, to start with, I'm happy for just getting a few bites.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go for a small hook. I'd go for at least a 14, only for the fact that the river is still thinning down, still very coloured. So the fish are going to be very hungry and be quite aggressive if you actually catch any. So I'd go for a 14.
That's behind me.
So, yeah, you've got a few options on here. You've got to go for a barbed hook. So I'd go for a wide gape hook as well, to be honest with you, because you might want to put bunches of maggots on, maybe a small piece of meat, piece of sweet corn. So go for a Adrenaline wide gape 14. That's on 0.15. So open the packet up, unwind it through your two fingers, and it comes off lovely. And you can make it the length you want because it comes in at 45 centimeters, so you can make it shorter if you need to make it shorter. Go for a 14 one of those, and I probably would do as well. I'd go for a 12, just in case you do start getting a lot of bites and they start getting a bit aggressive. Something a little bit stronger, you can put a big piece of corn on, but enough of that point is showing through to hook the fish as well. So those two there would be absolutely fantastic. If you were going mainly for roach, I would drop down to a smaller hook size and possibly a smaller gauge of hook, but I'd look at the Acolyte Maggot Plus pre-tied. It's a thinner gauge of hook, but nice for single maggot, single caster, or even a tiny little piece of worm. But if you're going for chub today, definitely a wide gape strong hook. You want something strong because you don't want to lose the fish you hook into.
And that's where I keep them out. I'm going to need them. I've got size 16, so I need some bigger then.
Okay.
Add them to the pile.
You got one of these floats already as
Got
well?
the float in my pocket. You said some of those, I think I've got some, but just in case, get the ones that I need, just so you kick me out. So if I don't catch today, it's on you.
Thanks for that. Right, actually no, go for those ones there. Go for those one there. So we've got a variation size of the rubbers in there. You've got one to go over the tip, obviously, and then down the stem. Those ones will be more than big enough. Try and keep one a little bit longer off the stem.
Yeah, you said.
Because it aids with casting. Stops the line from wrapping up on the float as well. So a pack of those.
Got the float.
You got the
That's the one you gave me, yeah.
Which ones you want, yellow or red?
What's easiest to see at the moment?
It's up to you. In dark water, I go for orange. In light water, I go for a yellowish
Still
sort of.
fairly coloured.
Yeah, it should be alright. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people go on the fact of, oh, it's £4 is quite light for going for chub, but there still will be a lot of stretch with it. And if you think you're casting downstream, you've got a lot of line out, you've got plenty to play with. I mean, it is called fishing, it's not called catch and drag. So yeah, it has got plenty of strength in it. It's a very strong line, knocks very, very well as well. Very good. Apart from that, so you're just going to be bait.
Bait, I was going to say bait. And maggots, what I used last time, would you say?
I'd still stick with maggots. Still stick with maggots.
Walk into anything.
Yeah, I'd go for a couple of pints of maggots. Don't be afraid to loose feed quite a fair bit.
I think that's where I went wrong last time. I do like a few pounds, so I'd not get bored, but I'd run out of patience and I'll float out. And is that detrimental?
Not really. You got to think about the fact that the size of the river is quite a wide river. It's a long, powerful river. There's a lot of fish in there now. With the floods which we've had since probably Christmas, a lot of these fish are going to be very, very hungry. They've been fighting against the current, trying to keep their survival rate up. There's a few otters in here and things like that. They don't want to be predated against. So they're going to be fighting against a lot of the natural elements. So they're going to be losing a lot of their natural weight, and they want to try and feed up because soon it's going to be getting close to spawning season. So they're going to be looking at getting a bit of weight on, getting ready for spawning. So I would err on at least 2 pints of maggots and keep on getting some bait going in, because being the size of the river, you need to keep them interested and get them in your peg. And it might take you half an hour to get your first bite, but keep that feed going in. Keep that constant trickle of feed going in. Gets little fish interested, then little fish get interested in the bigger fish, and you might catch some lovely roach. There's some big dace down there as well at the moment. Chubber, greedy. You know when you catch a chub, sometimes
when
you
I
look
finally
at
heard
their
back,
mouth.
I thought I'd snagged Stour, and I was like, oh no, this is nodding back.
Yeah. And when you look in their mouth, sometimes you can sort of see your maggots.
I did. Well, I only had that one the last time, and when it just vomited, like 20 maggots out at once.
So, sometimes when you're landing it, when you're pulling them up and landing it, you just regurgitate everything you've had. It just all comes up, and you look and think, I haven't been feeding casters, but okay, fair enough. But yeah, they are very greedy, aggressive fish. So if you do get a good shoal of them, you've got to keep them there. So definitely put some bait in. And I think 2 pints would be the minimum. I'm quite aggressive with my feeding on this river. I'd normally take at least 4 or 5 pints of maggots because I know you've got to keep on getting them going.
Yeah.
But just constant loose feeding and keep on tricking away at it. Don't get disillusioned after 20, 30 minutes without a bite. Keep on having to go. Keep on going. Keep on going, because they can turn up at any time. They could be right in your swim, but they could be close in, just looking to see what's going on, waiting and waiting and waiting. And suddenly, as soon as one comes out, the other ones come out and follow, and they go, oh, we got a bit of a munch on here. And they have a go, and you can have some fantastic sport up here, but then it can go quickly again, but still keep putting that loose feed in and keep on going for them, because chub fishing can be a bit of a patient game, but it can be massively rewarding on this river, because some of the chub got to £7.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic.
Exciting. Well, I think last time I just touching 4, which is a good size. So anyway,
brilliant, yeah.
With the last question before, I think I need to change my 2-point maggots up to a 4. Weather-wise, obviously we've had grey, rain, horrible, the river's coming down, but not only that, we've now got blue sky and bright sun, just 16 degrees today. Last time I fished it was -4.
Yeah.
Still sunny, but completely different. Does that play a fact?
It will play a massive factor to it. I mean, the water temperatures come up as well, which is a massive advantage as well. Like I say, with it thinning down, air temperature, air pressure, everything that all plays a massive part. When you fished last time, it was a very bitterly cold day, which, to be honest with you, you had a good chub last time, and that, to be honest with you, on the day you went out, it's still a very good day, because you've had a bite and you've had a good chub. Sometimes you can go in that sort of weather and go for 2 or 3 times and not even get a sniff. So I think you've got a good chance that you might have a good chance today of catching a few roach, definitely a few roach and dace. Don't get worried about the pestered by the bleak or anything like that if they start showing, because they can still show as well. Just keep on getting that feed going in. I think you have got a good chance of catching some fish today. Very good chance. There has been reports of some good barbel coming out as well. So if the float does go under and it goes a bit solid, just give it a little play, because it could be a barbel on there, because there are some 12-pounders coming out and 13-pounders.
Well, that'd be good fun. On what did we go for in the end?
£4
nylon.
£4, and then
that'd be
on there. So it should be good. But because you obviously you won't catch no fish out in, so
Exactly.
you've got to go out there and do it. And the weather's beautiful today, so
I'm looking forward to actually being warm. Right, let's ring this all up, get some bait in the tub, spool up the reel, and
what you after? Just 2 punts in there.
well, is it worth you getting a bigger tub and just?
I think because you don't want to have 2 punts in there, because like I say, it's a lot of maggot in a small tub in a way, which they get a bit hot and sweaty. So I'd go for a 3, but I'll get you over a pointer. There you go, Joe. So what I put in there is a pint and a half of reds and a pint of mixed. If you run out, give us a ring and we'll run down and get some more down if you're having a good day.
Perfect. That's the convenience of this, is right on the river as well, so you get daily updates for the river's fishing ability. Yeah, looking forward to it. Right, let's get this line sorted, get down to the river. We are set up and ready to go. In summary, the kit I'm using is my 14-foot Acolyte float rod, and that's paired up with a little reel which is now spooled up with much lighter line, smaller diameter, and it floats. That's the key thing. I think last time I was having issues with the line starting to sink, making it a nightmare for me to control the float and have a nice trot through the swim. That now goes to a much bigger float than what I was using last time, so I can cast further, I can control it a lot more because it will hold in the water better. We've been trying to mend the line before, I found I kept dragging the float, especially with the line sinking. This, because it's got a bit more weight behind it, a bit more water resistance, and it will hold the position it's in the water better, I should be able to mend the line better and control it float down the river a lot more. And because it's bigger, it's easier to see. So if I want to trot it further, I can do. Coming down about a foot from that, I've got the bulk of my shot. I've got those slide-on float weights held in position by a couple of split shot. That just helps with the casting of the float and also sets the float correctly straight away. I believe that's how you're meant to do it. Anyway, if I'm getting the shot pattern wrong, forgive me. I'm still learning on this side of things, but that just helps cast, sets the float nicely. Then we come down a long old way to a split shot, probably 2 foot from the hook link, or from the hook, and another one about a foot up from that as well. So that just brings the rest of the line down through the water a bit quicker without being overly weighted with big shot, and make sure that my maggot or whatever hook bait I choose to use, which is predominantly going to be maggot today, will sit just off the deck. Now, talking of just off the deck, this is currently set to 13 foot of depth, and that was not catching the bottom. If I went a bit longer than that, I might start catching the bottom. I'm going to play with that. What I want to be doing is just off the deck, so that any fish that are feeding on the bottom, taking those maggots, this is fluttering down past them as well. That's a lot of water to be fishing, a lot of flow, and I have seen that the flow is going quite quickly. But I do feel with this setup, it's a lot more refined. I've been told this is the correct way of fishing for it. Now it's down to me. Maggot tub is behind me. I've been feeding the swim for, let's check. I've started putting bait out about 20 past 10. It is now 11:15. So I've taken my time setting up, making sure it's all set, feeding the swim. As soon as I turn this camera off now, I'm going to flick out a few more pouches of maggots, and I'm probably going to do that for a good 15-20 minutes more as well. I'm in no rush today. I really want to build the swim because last time I was much too quick to get the float out. So I'm hoping that this time, by keep on feeding the swim, not putting any line pressure in there, I might build up some confidence and get some fish in the swim. Then of course we'll get the rod out, and I don't care what comes my way today. Of course the target is a chub. If I can get some fish in, I would say semi-flood water. It's not too bad now, but a lot higher than I've used to fishing it. 13 foot of water, float fishing, a pretty delicate setup like this, I think any fish is a bonus. So let's get a few more maggots out, get myself ready, and fingers crossed we'll have a good day's fishing. Where's that sun gone? It was meant to be sunny all day. Probably not a bad thing for the fishing, but it was nice and warm. There's a couple other small things I bought which I think will make quite a big difference to how easy I find it to fishing and less tiring. The first one being a little waist pouch. So that straps around my waist, chuck my maggots in there, then I'm not bending down trying to pick up my maggots. Oh, nearly chucked it straight in the river then. Not bending down constantly trying to get the maggots. And also when the banks are all over the place, put a maggot tub down. Although I've got a nice flat spot there, it can be a nightmare sometimes trying to hold your maggots in the right position. And the other one being, see if I can do this on camera, is a new net pole. Ready? Almost. I've got a 3 meter landing net pole now, so should be easier to land the fish. There's one last job I need to do before I get fishing, and that is making sure I don't fall on my ass going down these steps. Where we've had the flood and the river was up to here, loads of mud deposits are on these steps, and it is a death trap trying to walk down. So I'm going to try and clear some of that mud, so if I do hook a fish, I can get down there nice and easily. Because you know me, I love slipping over, and slipping over next to rivers isn't always the most enjoyable experience. So clear them steps and then we will finally get fishing. Well, that was a bit of a flop of a first swim. I just can't fish it, really frustratingly. I should have done a few proper runs through to make sure I could fish it before I fed it for an hour and a half, but you live and learn. So this swim has had a nice lot of free bait. The anglers that are downstream me may have benefited from about 2 pints of maggots, but I just can't fish it. It's really frustrating. I'd love to continue fishing here, but where the water level's high, I can't quite get down far enough to fish round this tree. So every retrieve, I'm just getting caught on this tree, or nearly every retrieve, and I'm just going to keep losing tackle and not hooking fish. So I'm up in sticks and I'm moving. I've just talked to the tackle shop actually about places further downstream, but again, where the water's quite high, that might still not be very accessible. So I'm going to go upstream, past the other side of the tackle shop, where I started the last time I fished on this river for the chub as well. So it might be slightly easier to trot a float through. I don't really know what the conditions are like up there because it's the other side of a weir. But we got to do something. I've done enough time in here to know I'm just going to get more wound up, lose more tackle, and just have a really frustrating time. So I've got all the kit I need. I've been given all the information I need, but it's the idiot with the rod and reel which is struggling right now. So let's make a change and see if we can find fish elsewhere. But at least the sun's back out. It's glorious. As I was heading past the tackle shop to go to my next swim, I thought I'd stop by and check that how I was fishing was correct. It was not correct. Here is how it should have been set up. You're going to tell me this is all set up wrong. I did bulk shot down from the float. So I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah.
And then nothing really down until about 2 foot. Yeah, it's all tangled up there. So all the people at YouTube have seen so far is me snag a tree several times and tagging several times. So this all makes sense now.
Yeah.
But it's all part of learning. Like it's not a method of it. And 30 foot long from the float, it just seems bizarre to me. And trying to control that, but that makes more sense now because it's getting it down quicker.
Yeah. So that's what, and obviously throw it out.
Yeah.
That'll go plop, plop, plop. Bring the line down the back of the float, hold the float back, let it settle, then let it run, and that's when it's fishing then.
Okay.
Once it's all settled up and everything's all running through properly, that's when you're fishing.
Nice.
But that's the way to do it for that one there.
There you go, bud.
Yeah, so obviously with a croak or a bollo, it's all about the weight is taking the float out.
Yeah.
And then obviously once that sets, that's what's fishing then. And you can
makes a lot more sense.
There's a further down, because obviously with it being up so high to the float, try to control the float. What's happening is that weight is going against the float.
It was going out and then all landing in there.
It all and
yeah.
everything else, where it's a nice little underarm out, feather it out, and you go plop, 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 dump, lovely.
Nice. And that, everyone, is why local tackle shops are more than just getting your maggots. It's local knowledge and help. Thank you very much. So it turns out I was fishing incorrectly. I thought something was a bit off, but I've just been put right at the tackle shop. The bulk shot, which I had just below the float, was meant to be much further down, so it's pulling the float out rather than battling it in the flight, which I noticed it was doing. So that makes sense. It's one of those things that hindsight's a wonderful thing. Of course that makes sense. The weight is now pulling the float out. Then I've got a dropper below that, probably a foot or so below. And then below that is, of course, the hook. And what he told me is that last shot, the dropper, is a bit of a pivot point on the line. So hold your hook and that shot, bring the hook back up to the top of the line. And if it's below the bulk shot, you're good. If it's touching that bulk shot, you could be in a world of trouble of getting tangles and things. So making sure that those shots are separated from all pivot points things is now set up exactly how it should be. So I'm in a new swim. I've already started putting some bait in here. It looks like it's going to be much easier to trot float down through here. I'm not sure exactly what the depth is, but I'm feeling more confident. Blazing sun, it's really, really warm now. I think it's getting up to 16 degrees today and it feels it is glorious. So Polaroids are going to be going on, maggots firing out, and we'll start trotting a float through this swim. And hopefully, now we've got a good run through and it's set up correctly, there's not really any excuses. It's all on me again.
Slow. Har du skillavsättning? Vi går.
Oh my. And here we have the first fish of the day. A lovely roach with what seems to be a wart on his forehead. But it's the first fish of the day. Oh, made up with that. And believe it or not, that's probably one of the biggest roach I've ever caught. So I'm very happy with that. It's a good start. New swim, first proper run through, and we've got one under our belts. Back you go, buddy. Thank you. That was a bite. Yep. Oh, this one feels better. Could this be the chub we're after? Am I recording this time? Yes. This one definitely feels bigger. Could be another decent roach just holding itself in the flow. Oh, this is good fun. Finally getting some bites in the sunshine. Start of March. Enjoying the spring sunshine. Is it even spring officially? I don't know. I think this could be another roach. The way it's fighting is very similar to the first one. But it's just got onto that little shelf there. Oh, there's definitely a snag there. Gonna have to go slack again. Gonna get itself out. Try again. No, darn it, there's like a little snag just in front of me. I can't seem to get the fish past. Despite my best efforts for a good 5 minutes to release this fish from the snag, I ended up losing the fish and losing to the snag. So I headed back to the tackle shop, grabbed some more kit, and came back for another go. Oh, there's a nibble. Is that a bite? No. Oh, have we? We have, it's very small. We have. What have we got? Oh, a tiny little dace. It's the most timid of bites. There you go, buddy. Right. Fish number 2. Move the camera. Catch the bottom at the same point every time and it tricks me every time. That was a bite. Yeah, fish on. Yes, there we go. That's a better fish. Whoa, there he goes. There he goes. Yeah, we got a chub. Gotta be. Oh, lovely. He's plodding around out there. Gotta be a chub. Oh, he's just holding bottom out there. Unless I've snagged. No, he's moving. Oh, this feels a good fish. Unless I've just picked up a carrier bag floating down through. No, this is a fish. We got a good fish on here. Keep getting the odd head nod. Don't get stuck on that same spot, please. I got to try and get it past it. Rod tip high. keep it angle to the left. Oh, he's on the same spot as last time. He's caught my old line. Come on, get up over that. Come on, come on. Get past that. He's gone to the same spot. Come on, get over it. Come on, we got a good fish on it. Don't go to the same spot. Is he in the shallows? Oh, come on, what have we got on? Please say you've come over that bit. Going right down in close now. Yep, so we got a good chub. Get above him again. Us. That is a big chub. Big chub. Come on. Come on. That is a monster. He's in. I can tell you without a doubt, that's a personal best chub. Oh, every day of the week. I thought it was a little carp. Yes. Get in. What a beast. That is a unit. And I brought some scales this time. Oh, he's getting away. Every day of the week he's getting away. But this net isn't very big. Yes. Oh, what a fish. What a result. This is exactly why I came out here today. To try and get some of these. When I first got back in the swim, a little dace took it. Probably not even the size of its tail. Next trot through, as I said on the fight, I thought, is this a carrier bag just dragging in the water? Because it went into the middle of the flow and sat there to start with. Because I'm using such a light action kit, I guess it didn't really know it was hooked, but a few runs and got it past that little bit in the margin I was worried about. And with the net, it's £5 exactly, so I need to weigh the net when it's gone back. But easily a personal best, just looking at the size of it. Much bigger than any chub I've ever caught before. And it's all thanks to the man behind the camera just come along and saw it as well. So thank you for your advice, and it's proof that if you don't know how to do a certain method or tactic, go into your local, ask them for advice, just like I did this morning, because without all that, I wouldn't have known how to fish this properly today. And try and get a photo of him, and then get him back. With the net removed, that came in at £4 6 ounces, which I am pretty sure is a personal best. I think I've touched £4 before, maybe just under, just above, but that one well and truly was £4 6 ounces, and apparently it's quite a small one for it. They can go up to much bigger than that, so I don't know what a bigger one of that will fight like, because that, at times, I just couldn't do anything with it. It's just sitting in the flow, and I think on the whole, if it wanted to give me more of a run around, it would have done. But happy days. I've been feeding the swim for the last 10 minutes again, whilst I just enjoy the fact I've just caught another personal best, and the day is still young, so much time to try and catch some fish. So hopefully we can build on that. I don't care if I catch anything big or not, but another chub will be a bonus. It'll be more than the last time we came, and just finally fine-tuning a method. Excuse me. Getting better with a method. Let's try that again. Getting better with a method, and now finding that it's actually fishing much better than it was before. It's just so much more enjoyable knowing that it's fishing properly. Yes, a personal best. The next few hours seemed to absolutely fly by, but I simply enjoyed being there, soaking up the sun, taking in the surroundings, and of course, still catching the odd fish. And before I knew it, the sun was setting. I ran out of maggots, so I'm not feeding the swim anymore. And the sun's just dipping down. I could barely see the float a minute ago because the sun was so low and reflecting. I was just squinting through like a little letterbox here, but it just didn't happen. But I don't think I can complain. I've had a thoroughly enjoyable day, a personal best chub, multiple chub, roach, but also I've learned how to use this method a bit more effectively, how to set it up properly, and that's all thanks to Switch Arms. Ugh. That's all thanks to Liam in the shop, and all the other guys are always helpful whenever I've got something I want to get to grips with or understand. Asking people that know more than you will always help you become a better angler. And today I feel like I've added another string to my bow. It still needs fine tuning. I know I need to learn a lot more about how to feed and do things like that, but today was a massive step up compared to the last time I float fished on it, where I think I was lucky, to be honest, getting that chub. I know it was an awesome chub, but it just Yeah, I think it may have been a bit of luck. And you always need a bit of luck when you're fishing. But today, I really do feel like I fished effectively. I learnt to swim. I learnt what the float was doing, how the weights were going down, how it was going to be fluttering down past the fish. When you start to understand the methods and the tactics you're using, you can start to make decisions on what's working, what's not working, what the fish doing, why did that work, why didn't that work. And that's all part of fishing. And when you start to learn multiple disciplines, it makes you a more rounded angler, I think, anyway. But yeah, still lots to learn on this side of fishing. Tomorrow, I'm off carp fishing, and I've got some brand new rods to christen, so hopefully we get something on those. But that is the end of today's video. Please like it if you did, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's end on a glorious sunset over the Avon. Beautiful. Right, I gotta go.